This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Tuesday, October 29th. I'm here with Brandon, Erica. I'm Jeff. Stephanie has the night off. A lot to get to, guys. Let's jump right in. We start with new information in the aftermath of the nasty car crash that seriously injured Kevin Hart. There are reports that Kevin does not plan to sue the driver who caused the crash, according to TMZ. He also doesn't intend to file a claim for the driver's insurance to cover the medical bills. Kevin had surgery for fractures in his back and is undergoing intensive therapy. No one in the car was wearing a seatbelt.
Right, because when the car was modified or made more current, or however you call that, souped up.
Right.
Apparently, the legislation is going to change based on this car accident because it's not up to the standards that we have set for today for a vehicle ready or a street legal vehicle.
So just off, my first question would be, if you know, were the seatbelts even working in that car?
What? I don't know.
I didn't expect you to have that answer.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you soup it up, you leave certain things out.
Right. I read that the seatbelt situation wasn't up to the code of today.
Oh, okay. Uh-oh.
And you know we love a conspiracy theory. I smell something fishy, Erica. I said it from day one. Remember, there was reports of a witness seeing him being pulled out of the driver's seat. He's had a DUI prior. We don't know if he was drinking. He went straight home, and you know that may have bought him some time. It was a fishy 911 call. I smell something going on here.
I wasn't going to go there unless someone else went there.
I wasn't either.
And now we're here.
But why do you make me go there? I want to do a Kevin Hart movie one day. No, okay, throw it under the bus or under the modified car.
You got underneath the modified car and said, start driving.
Should have had seatbelts.
But listen, I also find it fishy that there is no claims, which means no one's going to be looking into the incident.
See?
But why would there be claims? It's not like, he was the richest man in the car. The richest man in the car is not going to sue two people who don't have as much as you have.
All right, so Erica's going to be the only one in a Kevin Hart movie. Is what we're saying now. All right, we'll leave it there. We're glad everyone is okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Kanye West finally did carpool karaoke with Late Late Show host James Corden, but in an airplane. His Sunday service choir joined him on the flight, and of course, he said some crazy stuff. He's being Kanye. Let's watch.
Beautiful 5 years of marriage, but you know, marriage years are different than human. Like, you know how dog years, or what is it, 7 years?
See, yeah, why are marriage years
every marriage year is like 100 years. It's like 500 years of marriage.
He also says during an Apple Music interview that he's suffering just like Jesus. Let's take a look.
Social media makes me suffer. I suffer from that. And by me saying this out loud, I'm sure that there's other married men that suffer in a similar way that are happy to hear me say, oh yeah, I'm suffering.
Why just married men?
Because social media prompts women in particular to put out content.
So we're not sure if he's referring to his wife Kim Kardashian's social media post. Do you think is that what he was driving at?
I'm gonna have to GPS this situation because I am thoroughly confused.
Me too.
Because I mean, Kim Kardashian has been Kim Kardashian far before it was Kim and Kanye.
Right.
So if this was a fatal flaw, then why would he have married her? The other thing is, I think he's talking about maybe the enticing nature of social media and Brandon's shaking his head like he is guilty of sin. So go ahead.
I'm not guilty. He wasn't talking to other married men. He was talking to men like me who is transitioning into wanting to get married.
Really?
Because he's giving me a warning. Once you get married, Brandon, you can't double like that risque photo anymore. And that's what he's saying. Social media has become such a thirst trap that other married men are suffering because you will get in trouble if your wife sees you liking or commenting on a thirst trap.
Listen, Erica.
That's what I got.
Listen, I have officially heard it all.
Brandon, I'm with you. I see what you're saying.
Thank you.
Oh
Me and
my gosh.
Geniuses,
Oh my gosh. This is ridiculous. First of all, we're going to have to redefine the word suffering. Okay? This is not suffering. And the other thing is, not every woman is hung up on. I remember first of all, my friends, I have a very diverse group of friends. The ones who are very active on social media, they are active in a lot of different ways. And my husband has liked a lot of photos. And people have said things to me like, did you know that Anthony liked like photo? Did you see this? And I was like, oh, that's so-and-so. It's like, not everybody is hung up on that.
But if it was someone you didn't know or friends with, would it be the same?
I don't think it's any different. It's an image on social media. It's just an image.
Listen,
I don't see any problem with
Erica,
it.
this is why you don't see one of the a problem with it is because you're one of the homies. You're a homie type female, and I mean, and that's a great thing.
His homie.
But that's a great thing because it's like you get it. You understand why a guy's gonna click like that. Now there are women out there who are jealous, and if their spouse goes and likes some woman's thong bikini picture, boy, get your sleeping bag. You're sleeping on the couch tonight. You're sleeping on the couch tonight.
I do call him my homie lover husband, so that might.
You guys are very cool with each other, and that's a compliment. I see
but
what
you
you're saying.
know what I'm saying,
I
Jeff.
totally know what you're saying. If you're clicking on all those photos that Brandon's describing, listen, I'm going to be getting a sleeping bag. I don't click on those. All right, guys, we are learning more about the secret sources behind the Bombshell movie. What Bombshell movie, Raquel? What's going on? Source?
Well, Jeff, several former Fox News employees say they are ready to risk it all to expose the toxic work culture. Now, one of the women is speaking out. It's former anchor Juliette Huddy. She left Fox News over allegations that she was harassed by Bill O'Reilly. She says the fallout left her without a job or a home, and dozens of others have broke their non-disclosure agreements to speak out and now face possible legal action. The Bombshell movie, which what you were asking about, Jeff, stars Charlize Theron and Nicole Kidman, and it is already getting Oscar buzz. Now, the film comes out December 20th.
Thanks for hanging with your Raquel. I was like, the Bombshell movie. What?
Yeah. The movie
the Bombshell movie. Gotcha. Thanks, Raquel.
I think this is interesting because we've been seeing this a lot, people violating or breaking their NDAs. Because the NDA don't mean crap. Like, first of all, you're in a situation where you're up against a major corporation and the entire thing is to protect them, not you. Then you go unprotected. You've seen your worst day where you go from your dream job to not having a home, not having a place, or not getting a paycheck. And then it's like, well, what are you protecting yourself from by violating an NDA that was never meant to have any protection for you? So good on them.
Erica says it all the time. All right, actress Emma Thompson is speaking out. She was at a restaurant, get this, in London when a server asked her for a selfie. She declined, but now the server's being suspended and Emma is urging the restaurant not to fire him. Let's watch. Oh, we don't even have a clip. That was it. I thought there was a video. But, man, I feel for this waiter. You know what I mean? Probably not wanting to disrupt anybody, or that restaurant might have rules to not take pictures, because even when people come in here, we're told, listen, don't take pictures with them. Don't waste or take up any of their time.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with the New York Giants. You know, I work for the New York Giants. If I was to bring my little brother or little brothers and sisters in the facility, first thing I tell them, hey, I'm sorry, no photos. Because, you know, certain people, you're in your workplace. And for Emma, being out, being at a restaurant, that's your safe haven because you want to get away from it all. And I understand people are going to be like, boo-hoo, you're a celebrity. You signed up for it. But just try and go out to eat with your family and stuff, and people are sitting there asking for selfies and photos. It just gets nerve-wracking. I'm only a D-list celebrity, Erica. So just imagine what it's going to be like when I'm a B+,
but don't you
B-.
feel like you build some sort of bond? Like if you're that waiter and you waited on him all night, maybe you build up the courage a little bit to be like, you know, you're not a patron in the restaurant. If you're waiting on them, it's like, hey, do you mind if I get a quick pic? You know, I really want to show my mom or something, I'm a big fan. I see both sides to this.
But I mean, especially when I was working in radio and we would get a lot of artists who would come in, and the problem is, it's contagious. So it starts with your waiter who you've formulated some type of temporary relationship with, and now all of a sudden, you know, the guy who, you know, closes decides to come from the back to, you know, so then it's like 50 million people, and you want people to know that this is a safe, comfortable place for them to come to. So I get it.
It's like Soho House.
ya.
You're not allowed to
yeah,
ask
you
for
can't even
pictures
take
at Soho
pictures.
House.
Plus,
Yeah.
people don't want it when they're like drinking and like hanging out. They don't want to take a photo and have their drunken photo. Not to say she was drunk, but sometimes that happens all over the internet.
I hear you. I hear you. You guys made good points. All right, guys. Dame Julie Andrews passed up a role in Martin Scorsese's film The Wolf of Wall Street. On Watch What Happens Live, she explained that drugs were a factor in her decision, but it's not what you think. Watch.
I'd had an operation. I'm a bionic woman, and I have a titanium ankle. And I was so truly stoned from all the drugs that I had to take to take the pain away.
Yeah.
I just wasn't ready, and I wanted to be.
See, that kind of goes into the last story. It's like you want to present, especially when that's your job, you want to make sure that you're professional anytime you're playing the role of really being you, but it's also a role. So she didn't take this film because she was on so many meds after her surgery that she didn't feel like she was able to be who she wanted to be.
Man, she would have been great for that scene with Jonah Hill and Leonardo DiCaprio when they were on their meds.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh, the phone! You remember that?
I do remember that.
What a great
I just watch Erica's face when you do something like that. Erica her face says it all.
It's joy. I bring joy to her life.
Coming up on DBL, co-host Tori Showman talks with the hilarious Angela Kinsey from The Office. Could a cast reunion happen in the near future? Find out in today's Chatting with the Stars. Plus, a faster way to binge watch the new Speedy feature Netflix is testing out and why it's causing outrage in Hollywood. We share your comments next. I don't like it.
All right, Rob.
I had a good joke, but I don't know if it would have landed because yours was a good close. But I was be like, she's Dame Julie Andrews, but if now I heard she passed on The Wolf of Wall Street. Damn, Julie Andrews. Is her name Julie Andrews?
Yes.
Okay. You didn't like that joke?
It was.
It's spelled almost the same.
Your best joke was.
Well, I saved it.
You're greasy to it.
I was like, I don't know if I should pull this one out. I'm like, I'm not gonna pull it out.
I've done the
greasy
out before.
fingers?
I've done that before. Yeah. I was. Well,
In public, you've done
I've been. Dang. Should I air myself out there like that?
Why stop now?
Well, you know, it's no secret around here about DBL. I've been dating this one woman out in New York, and there was one time she was. We were just talking about how she was texting me one time, and I was like, "Yeah, you're doing the greasy fingers like Jeff did." And I used it. She looked at me like, "What are you talking about?" I laughed.
Did she watch the show?
Yeah, she watched the show.
No, I was like, no.
Nah, she didn't watch that show, so she didn't understand.
Right, but she
she's
does
watched the show
tune in
before.
time to time?
Yeah, she likes the way Erica kind of like, fake gets on me, but, I don't even buy it.
You want to leave a little message for her? Like drama when he was on The View?
You shouldn't be watching right now. You should be at physical therapy. So, if you're watching, we'll talk about
What
that.
happened to her? Let's talk more.
She got into a car accident, and,
Don't people want to know behind the scenes of Brandon London's life?
I'm not giving details or saying her name or her patient number. Just saying.
There's a patient number.
For physical therapy, don't you have a patient number?
I don't know.
It's not like D
All
Block.
right, well, DBL, welcome to my boring life.
Welcome back back to DBL. Imagine if you could binge watch your favorite shows on Netflix, but 50% faster. That's exactly what the streaming service is testing out for Android phone users. Director Judd Apatow and Breaking Bad's Paul Aaron are tweeting their disgust for this idea. And the director of The Incredibles says, why support and finance filmmakers' visions on one hand and then work to destroy the presentation of those films on the other? But Netflix says it has no plans to roll out this feature to more people. So DBL Nation, would you like having the option to speed up binge watching? That's today's DBL Take. Let's kick it off, right?
Yeah, nah, Aaron Paul.
Did I say Aaron Rodgers?
No, you said Paul Aaron. Aaron Paul.
I thought I said, never mind.
And it's only for Android
I would have been way more mad if I said Aaron Rodgers.
Go Bears. Ben says, this is so dumb. We don't even have the attention span or patience to watch a series the way it was supposed to be seen. This is so silly. I'm with you, Ben, a.k.a. Aaron. It's like this. People are blaming Netflix for everything. They're blaming Netflix for obesity because people want to binge watch and not get up and take a walk or work out. It's absolutely crazy. Plus, I hate this feature, but it's only for Android users. If you have a green bubble, you deserve this.
Chelsea says, I could see how this would be helpful if you are trying to quickly rewatch past seasons before starting a new one. Sometimes there is quite a bit of time in between seasons. Chelsea, you know what? I'm actually going to have a little bit more flexible thought on this because that is an excellent point, especially when they hold out for months, sometimes even years to get that next season up. And you're like, I don't remember who this person is, who that person is. And another reason why we don't remember who these people are is because we're binge watching to begin with in original time, not sped up. And what happens is as quickly as we're taking in the information, our brains are also regurgitating it. Unlike back in the day when we wait a week and we were really into the character development and we can remember all of it. Thank you.
Good job. Pamela says, I agree. This is disrespectful for all the people behind shows and movies. Don't mess with their art. Pamela, I totally agree with you on this one. There's something in a comedic timing that people at home might not know. There's something in an awkward pause or a suspenseful pause that just makes the movie, it creates the art, it would make those great actors great. So I say don't mess with it, unless it's like a reality show or something that you're just trying to get to the end, like The Masked Singer. Just show me who it is.
Poor Masked Singer. Keep bringing it up.
Lori says, put out a good quality show that people want to watch at a regular speed, and this wouldn't be a problem. This comment is brought to you by someone who watched Game of Thrones and fast forward until the action parts.
You missed it.
But you missed such greatness.
Yeah.
Okay, the action parts were great, but just leading up to things, that's the ought. To be or not to be London. Ooh. Get it? It's my name, Be London. Erica, to be or not to be London? I was feeling myself. I was on the road till then. My bad. I took away your joy.
He's doing good today. Yeah. He's making me laugh. That's face says it all. Coming up on DBL co-host Tori Shulman goes one-on-one with The Office's Angela Kinsey. She talks about the possibility of a reboot and her new podcast with the fellow star from the classic sitcom.
Welcome to Fast Blast, the entertainment edition, and I have some headlines you may have missed. So let's get started. And they're out. David Benioff and D.B. Weiss are no longer in charge of the upcoming Star Wars trilogy. The former Game of Thrones showrunner said they can't do Star Wars justice because they signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Netflix. Some fans are relieved hearing the news, considering the uproar with the Game of Thrones ending now. No word yet on who will take over. And let's give a big shout out to Pink. She's being honored as the People's Champion. She's getting this honor for her humanitarian work and charity work. She'll receive the honor at the People's Choice Awards November 10th. And speaking of people doing good, John Cena is helping first responders in California. He has donated $500,000 to those helping battle the blazes in California. He says he has a greater appreciation for firefighters after his role in the movie Playing with Fire. And when it comes to costumes, one director wants you to avoid his movie. Jordan Peele does not want fans to dress up as the villains from Us. He just doesn't want to see it or have people go into that mindset. And that's it for the headlines. See you next time.
Welcome back to DBL. From Jim and Pam to Bears Beats and Battlestar Galactica, there's no show that defines the 2000s like The Office. DBL co-host Tori Shulman got to catch up with the real Angela Kinsey, who hinted at a possible Office movie. Check it out.
The party planner herself. Welcome, Angela Kinsey, to Daily Blast Live. I have so many questions about The Office, but first, tell me what you're doing in a shed.
Okay, here's what I'm doing in a shed. This is actually the original HP garage, which is considered the birthplace of Silicon Valley. So I'm sitting in a little piece of history here.
Oh, look at you. You've stayed super busy since your office days, all these jobs on top of being a mom. Everyone probably asks you that, but do you have any tips on how you manage to not lose your mind?
I don't know if I'm accomplishing that.
You are.
I just try to stay in the moment, you know? I can't think too far,
Nice.
like down the road when I have a busy schedule. I just check it off the list one at a time. To help balance your digital life and your real life, you can go to hp.com/getreal. And there's tips there for you.
Very Buddhist of you. I like that. Now, psychologists are studying why people can't stop binging The Office, and that The Office accounted for 52 billion minutes of streaming on Netflix last year.
I have this crazy thought that I know is crazy, that maybe Dwight killed my cat.
I just want to know from you, why
know.
do you think it's just so bingeable?
Well, I think there's some things that make it feel like comfort food, if you
Yeah.
will, because the set of The Office is always in the same place. We rarely left the office. I
Right.
mean, really. And I also think it's really relatable because we spend a lot of time at work and we become these misfit family with our coworkers. And no matter if it's like if you work in a hospital or if you're in corporate America or even your homeroom classroom, there's probably a Dwight.
Yeah.
Right? There's probably an Angela. So I think these personalities are everywhere.
You're so true. We definitely have a Dwight. I'm not going to say it out loud, but everyone in the office knows who's the Dwight.
People come up to me all the time and they're like, I work with an Angela.
I bet it happens constantly. You're a few episodes into the new Office podcast with Jenna Fisher, aka Pam. So there's this crazy rumor going around that because of the podcast and all the surrounding hype that an Office reunion could be in the works. Is there any reunion
Well,
plans?
listen, Jenna and I are pushing this reunion special. We think we could get everyone back for a special.
Yes.
Probably not a reboot. I think that'd be too hard. But come on, The Office, the movie? Let's do it.
Yes! Announcing it kind of here on DBL. Kind of. It's amazing. Thank you. You are a joy. You with the cat and Dwight. I think it's the best thing on TV.
Thank you.
Great job, Tori. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Do you know that women are more likely to be killed or injured in a car crash than men? Researchers have known that for decades. So why are they still only using crash test dummies representative of men? Let's connect the dots. Consumer Reports says most of the crash test dummies used by safety regulators represent a very specific male body type, 5 feet 9 inches tall and 171 pounds. The average man is 27 pounds heavier than that, according to the CDC. And get this, there is no crash test dummy used anywhere in the world that is designed to replicate an average woman's height, weight, and biology. There was one created in 2003, but it was for a woman who stood 4'11" and weighed 108 pounds. Now, that reflects just 5% of the female population and is actually more representative of a 12 or 13-year-old child. This can lead to potentially deadly consequences for women when it comes to car safety design. So why haven't safety regulators fixed this glaring problem? The Auto Alliance told Consumer Reports that the average American female today is closer in height and weight of the male dummy. But as we pointed out, the average American woman today is 6 inches shorter.
Especially with this show, like how transparent we're able to be. And I think it's the juxtaposition between the look of the show, like we look more newsy. But we can speak more point of view. And generally, when you have a point of view show, it trends a little bit more pop looking than news-based. But we are owned by a news organization, which is another strange juxtaposition. A lot of things lined up to make Daily Blast Live happen that have never lined up before. And that's the reason why you're starting to see other versions of shows like us on digital formats, and that this is going to be something that truly thrives. But I think us being owned by a news station or a news group, Tegna, but being able to do what the other panel shows have been able to do, but in a more 360 format, has been a big strength for us. And then you guys chiming in, telling us your ideas in real time has also bolstered what we're saying here. So thank you for being a part of this social experiment that's now thriving. Hey. This November, DBL is better than ever.
Oh, we're gonna go with that.
Don't miss a minute of Daily Blast Live.
Okay, all right.
Welcome back to DBL. Actor Bill Murray is proclaiming his love for a certain chain restaurant. Guess what? He loves P.F. Chang's so much, he wants to work there. Listen to what he said on Amy Schumer's podcast.
Although I did fill out an application at P.F. Chang's at the Atlanta airport, because I think that's one of the great places.
To do what?
Just to work there.
Just any job.
It looks like they're
Busser.
having the best time
Yeah.
working at P.F. Chang's.
Yeah, I guess so. Bridget, who is one of the hosts of this podcast, worked at the very first P.F. Chang's.
Really?
Yeah.
I understand this.
You do?
Yeah.
I love P.F. Chang's.
Yeah, a few years ago, I got the opportunity to be a cashier at McDonald's, and I was so excited because I always wanted to be a cashier at McDonald's. And so I was there for a radio appearance, and they let me work the register for an hour.
Was there a line out the door?
Yeah, the line. But I thought it was just because they wanted me to ring them up.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can see Bill Murray doing this. There's a Netflix show called The Bill Murray Story. It's hilarious if you guys haven't seen it, because he's legendary for going up to people at their table and just eating a fry meat like, they're never going to believe you. And now there's people who actually captured him going into the parties and partying with them. It's a great, great Netflix thing. We'll see you guys tomorrow.